Some adults over 50 don't realize this muscle is fading until they begin preparing for movements they used to do without thinking. Not workouts, not heavy exercise, ordinary moments. Turning too quickly in the kitchen, stepping sideways to avoid something on the floor, getting out of the car, and pausing before the first step because the body suddenly feels less steady than it used to. And honestly, that pause changes more than people realize. Because once the body stops feeling automatic, people slowly begin negotiating with movement instead of simply living through it. One side becomes more trusted than the other. Movements become more careful, and little by little, confidence gets replaced by caution. But here's the encouraging part. In many people, the muscle itself isn't truly gone. The body has simply stopped relying on it properly. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 exercises that each rebuild a different piece of that lost support. The first exercise helps reconnect the muscle so the body can finally feel it working again. The second reveals hidden imbalance between the two sides of the body. The third rebuilds direct hip strength that many adults quietly lose over time. The fourth teaches the hips how to stabilize during real movement instead of controlled exercise alone. And the fifth brings everything together so balance, coordination, and confidence finally begin working as one system again. Because what many adults don't realize is that this problem often starts with the muscle called the gluteus medius, one of the most important stabilizing muscles along the side of the hips. When this muscle stops activating properly, the body quietly begins compensating around it long before most people notice. I started paying closer attention to this after hearing the same quiet frustration from so many adults over the years. I just don't feel as steady anymore. I can still do everything, but something feels different. And honestly, I think that's one of the most overlooked parts of aging. Sometimes the first warning sign isn't pain, it's hesitation. Welcome to MyoSci Lab. If you want to move with more confidence, stability, and freedom after 50, subscribe and support the channel. And that's why the first exercise is called the seated band abduction. Because before the body can move better, it first has to feel this muscle working again. This movement is not about intensity, it's about reconnection. Sit on a firm chair with your feet flat on the floor and place a light resistance band just above your knees. Sit tall through the chest, relax your shoulders, and slowly press your knees outward against the band. Pause briefly, then return slowly with control. At first, this exercise almost looks too simple to matter, but this is usually the moment many adults discover something they haven't truly felt in years. One side of the hips activates clearly, while the other side feels delayed, shaky, weak, or strangely disconnected. Some people even notice themselves gripping the floor with their feet or holding tension in their lower back without realizing it. And honestly, that realization can hit emotionally harder than physically because people suddenly understand this imbalance may have been quietly building underneath everyday movement for a very long time. What fascinates me is how often adults mistake compensation for strength. The body is incredibly intelligent at hiding weakness. If the hips stop contributing properly, the nervous system immediately starts borrowing support from somewhere else. The lower back tightens. One side quietly takes over more work during walking and standing. And because this adaptation happens slowly, most people assume it's simply normal aging. But many times, what people feel first is not true weakness, it's disconnection. And disconnected muscles can often be retrained surprisingly well once the body becomes aware of them again. One of the biggest mistakes during this exercise is rushing through the repetitions and letting the knees snap inward on the way back. Another is leaning backward to force a bigger range of motion. But this movement is not about making the exercise look bigger, it's about making the muscle participate more clearly. Move slowly, breathe steadily. Let the movement feel controlled and intentional. Because when momentum disappears, the body can no longer hide where support is missing. And once the body begins feeling this muscle again, the next step becomes much more revealing, discovering whether the two sides of the body still trust themselves equally during movement. And once the body begins feeling this muscle again, the next step becomes much more revealing, discovering whether the two sides of the body still trust themselves equally during movement. That's why the second exercise is called the standing weight shift. The purpose of this movement is not just balance, it's awareness, because sitting can help reconnect the muscle, but standing exposes how the body actually behaves during real life. Stand with your feet about hip-width apart and slowly shift your weight onto one leg. Pause there briefly before returning to center, then repeat on the other side. Don't rush through it. Let the body fully settle into the standing hip before moving again. At first, this movement seems almost too simple to matter, but the moment people slow down enough to truly feel it, something surprising usually happens. One side often feels calm and stable, while the other side feels uncertain almost immediately. Some people notice the standing ankle trembling slightly. Others unconsciously lean their torso sideways to fake balance. And many people rush off the weaker side before stability is fully established because the nervous system simply doesn't trust that side anymore. That's the part I find fascinating. The body often reveals imbalance long before it creates pain. One thing I've realized after watching so many adults perform this movement is that people rarely lose confidence in their body all at once. It happens gradually through small compensations repeated over time. Leaning more onto one hip while standing, trusting one leg more while stepping down, turning more carefully without fully realizing it. Little by little, natural movement gets replaced by protective movement. One of the biggest mistakes during this exercise is shifting too quickly before the standing hip has time to stabilize the body. Another is collapsing sideways through the chest instead of letting the hip muscles absorb the weight naturally. Stay tall, move slowly. Let the standing leg organize the movement instead of escaping the unstable side too quickly. Because this exercise is not testing strength alone, it's exposing timing, coordination, and trust. And once the body identifies the weaker side, we can finally begin strengthening it directly. That brings us to the third exercise, the side-lying leg raise. The purpose of this movement is completely different from the previous exercise. The standing weight shift reveals imbalance. The side-lying leg raise rebuilds direct hip strength. Lie on your side with your bottom knee bent slightly for support and your top leg straight. Before lifting the leg, glance down at your foot and make sure your toes point forward instead of rotating upward toward the ceiling. Now, slowly raise the top leg about 12 to 18 inches, pause briefly, then lower it with control. Don't swing the leg upward, don't chase height, and don't let momentum hide what the body is struggling to stabilize. Because fast movement can make the body look stronger than it actually is. Slow movement tells the truth. The moment people slow this exercise down, they suddenly notice how quickly the pelvis wants to rotate or how aggressively the lower back tries to help. Some people even catch themselves holding their breath halfway through the repetition because the body senses instability and tries to create tension instead of control. And that's not failure, that's information. The body is finally exposing the exact places where support has been fading underneath everyday movement for years. Smaller, cleaner movement almost always creates better activation than larger movement with poor control. And for many adults, this becomes the first moment movement starts feeling supported again instead of cautious. But strength alone still isn't enough. The hips also need to stabilize during real movement, especially when direction changes unexpectedly. But strength alone still isn't enough. The hips also need to stabilize during real movement, especially when direction changes unexpectedly. That's why the fourth exercise is called the step out hold. The earlier exercises helped reconnect the muscle, reveal imbalance, and rebuild strength. But this movement teaches the body something completely different: how to stay organized while movement is happening. Because real life never happens lying perfectly still on a mat. Real life happens while turning suddenly in the kitchen, stepping sideways in a crowded store, catching yourself after a quick misstep, reacting before the brain even has time to fully think. And honestly, I think this is where many adults first realize the issue was never just weakness, it was timing. The hips stopped stabilizing quickly enough during movement, so the nervous system slowly replaced confidence with caution. Stand tall with your feet together and slowly step one foot out to the side. Once the foot lands, pause there for 2 or 3 seconds before pushing yourself back to center with control. Then repeat on the other side. And this is where things suddenly become very revealing. The moment your foot touches the floor, the standing hip has to organize the entire body underneath you. One side often feels smooth and controlled, while the other side may wobble slightly the moment the foot lands. Some people grip the floor with their toes. Others hold their breath without realizing it because the nervous system interprets instability as stress. Because the body does not panic during movement, it fully trusts. One of the biggest mistakes during this exercise is stepping too far too quickly. People chase bigger movement instead of better control, and the hips lose the ability to stabilize properly. Another common mistake is leaning the torso sideways to fake balance instead of allowing the standing hip to absorb the weight naturally. Instead, keep the chest quiet. Move slowly. Let the standing hip stabilize the body before returning to center. Because this exercise is not testing how far you can step, it's testing whether the body can stay stable while direction changes. And once the body starts regaining that timing again, movement begins feeling emotionally different too. Less guarded, less hesitant, less exhausting. That's exactly why the fifth and final exercise matters so much. The fifth exercise is called the modified side plank leg lift, and this is where balance, strength, and coordination finally begin working together as one system. Lie on your side with your elbow directly under your shoulder. If needed, bend your bottom knee slightly for support. Lift your hips into a modified side plank and pause there before slowly raising the top leg a few inches. At first, this movement humbles almost everyone. Not because it's extreme, but because it immediately exposes whether the body can maintain organized support under tension. One of the biggest mistakes here is lifting the top leg too high and losing alignment through the hips and shoulders. Another is rushing through the movement instead of allowing the body time to stabilize first. But this exercise is not about performing perfectly. It's about teaching the nervous system that the body can still stay supported under challenge. Keep breathing steadily. Move slowly. Let the body stay long and organized instead of forcing the movement. Because for many adults, this becomes the first moment in years their body feels dependable again. Earlier exercises reveal imbalance. This final exercise rebuilds trust. And once that confidence starts returning, movement no longer feels like something that needs to be carefully managed every second. It starts feeling natural again. And maybe the most important thing to understand is this: the body rarely loses stability all at once. Most of the time, it fades quietly through repetition. Small compensations repeated so many times that eventually they begin feeling normal, leaning more onto one side, turning more carefully, avoiding faster movement without even realizing it. And over time, caution slowly starts replacing confidence. But rebuilding support usually happens the exact same way it was lost, through repetition, not extreme workouts, not punishment, not forcing the body harder every day, just small, controlled movements repeated consistently enough for the nervous system to trust them again. And honestly, I think that changes the way many people should look at progress after 50, Because progress is not always something you immediately see in the mirror. Sometimes the first sign of improvement is much quieter than that. You step sideways without hesitation. You turn without bracing first. You stop thinking so carefully about every uneven surface underneath your feet. And for many adults, that's the moment the body starts feeling dependable again instead of fragile. That's why I don't want you rushing through these exercises trying to win them. I want you paying attention to them. Feel which side stabilizes more easily. Notice where tension appears first. Learn where the body still hesitates, because awareness is often the first real step toward rebuilding trust. And if one side still feels weaker right now, don't look at that as failure. In many cases, the body is finally revealing something it has been hiding beneath compensation for years. You're not the only person noticing these changes, and you're definitely not too late to improve them. If this video helped you better understand what your body may be trying to tell you, subscribe to MyoSci Lab and support the channel. We make these videos for adults who want to stay strong, steady, and independent through smarter movement and a deeper understanding of how the body really works. Because people rarely lose trust in their body all at once, and one day, those movements stop feeling planned again. I'll see you in the next video.